hate to think what would happen.
I wouldn't go to jail. The legal owner of this plant would. Canary Burns. This entire plant is in his name. So when they come to put CM Burns in jail, it's the canary that does the time.
Sir, can you do that?
Oh, yes!
I am wonderful. How are you?
I don't know if anybody heard me. We are live, everyone. How is everybody doing? They probably heard you. So I'm still working. It's been a week. It's been a week since we've been live, and it didn't help me get more familiar with the controls. So how are you doing?
I'm good. With spirits up, considering what we're dealing with here, I definitely could start banging the desk real fast, but I think tonight we're going to try to have a good time. We want to share some truths with you guys on the other side of the screen. We want to iron out some things that we've recently discovered with the true names of the Christ and the Creator. So we've got some interesting topics tonight, as well as a daytime Prince star, or however we'll rank that. We're going to bring that up as well. So how are you feeling? It's been a while. It feels like we haven't podcasted for like a year.
I know, yeah. A little rusty. We'll see how we get through this. Yeah, so we are in Tabernacles right now, and we have had the mooring of having some TEAMYAHAWASHI members. All right, so there's the first part of it. We had some members come here, and we'll go through what happened. But we sat down as a group and started looking more carefully at the pronunciations of the true names of the Creator and the Christ, and it does look like there is some correcting to be done. So we'll be going through that tonight. So we're going to start introducing what we see as the correct pronunciations of the true name of the Creator and the Christ tonight, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So just like we had to work to get off the false names of Jesus and God and stuff like that, more light has shone forth, and we'll be getting into that. So we're going to be switching up the pronunciations a little bit, but we're also going to be talking about the time period that we're in right now, which is Tabernacles. And the day after tomorrow is, guess what, brother?
The sacred day, the 8th day. I did turn my mic up, Seth. We get the 5x5. But yeah, that's the sacred day, the 8th day of the festival.
The 8th day. So yeah, we're coming up on the 7th day of Tabernacles tomorrow, and there's some interesting things going on in the world that we're going to go through as well that might serve as a warning. Sometimes we put these warnings go out and nothing happens, but other times we put out the warnings and something does happen. So we want people to be aware of what we see. So we're going to be sharing that as well.
Well, again, if we want to bring up the significance of the 8th day, right? So when Adam was created, and his birthday was on Tabernacles, right? The 8th day would have been the day that he would have been given his name, right? So there's a very, as well as Yahawashi, that's the new pronunciation of the name. He was also born on Tabernacles as well. So we've got a bunch of things lining up. I wish we could talk about other things that are happening in the realm right now, but we will get taken down super fast. But we'll leave that aside for tonight, and we'll focus on. So we've got the La Palma story. I don't want to steal the thunder, but we've been watching it since it started erupting. I hope all the people in the world that don't know what hot lava sounds and looks like get used to it. All the people that are running the world right now, because it will be their eternal paradise that they're headed to. So hopefully they're enjoying that. But we've definitely got this story that I'm going to throw it back to you in a second, Jason, that we'd like to share with people. Is what we see a lot of predictive programming happening, and we've seen it happen over and over again. In the intro piece, you saw a clip of Bart and Homer releasing a canary bird, and the significance of that could be that it's a controlled demolition of an island off the coast of South Africa, or Africa, right? And this is supposed to cause a catastrophic water flood, like a big tidal wave tsunami situation. So I'm going to throw it back to you, brother. I just wanted to set that up.
No, that's great. So when we get into screen share, we're going to be going through the La Palma thing because there's so much predictive programming for it. And then there's a couple key reasons why we would be interested in the possibility of what they call a mega tsunami coming up relatively soon, like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So we'll show you the reasons why we would say such a thing. And we'll go through, like Ronnie was saying, the true names of the Creator and the Christ, how those are pronounced. But what about, let's talk a little bit about the fact that we had 4 TEAMYAHAWASHI members here during Tabernacles and how that all went. You want to give us a little rundown on what's been going on over the reason why we haven't gone live for a week?
Well, we had Seth, Brandon, and Benny Shine. We've had them here most of the time. Seth just went home, I think it was Monday. And it was great. We've done a lot of getting to know each other, talking, learning. We've been going through all the mysteries to the kingdom of heaven, going through the scriptures a lot. Just getting to know each other. We definitely have 1,000 years of getting to know everybody. And it's great that they made it down for the festival and the feast. We had, so it started off, we went to a friend of ours, Robert and Misty. They're a really wonderful couple that we work with here in Austin. We went there, and Robert is an excellent smoking chef, I'll call him. Right, so we don't call it barbecuing. We do call it barbecuing, but not in Canada. Barbecuing is just like a propane or charcoal barbecue. This is how you smoke the food. Right?
Here in Texas, we call them pit masters.
Pitmaster. That's a better term.
Not like the bottomless pit, like the smoky pit above ground.
So we went there and we kicked off Tabernacles. It wasn't the first day, but I believe it was the second day. And we had the solemn assembly. We got together. We talked. We let the incense of the smell of the food go up into the Father for, a smell offering. And we've been offering up, all of us have talked about our truths, our past, all the things that we're trying to be better at, all the things. It started off, basically everybody, we're just giving testimonies and confessing to one another, even though that's not always called for, but it does seem to be some of the best things that when you get to know somebody, when you talk to each other about the things that have gone wrong in your life, you do get to get a better picture of what made them who they are. So we've spent a lot of time together. It's been great. It's been different to have a different routine. I am all about routine. And one thing that I'm going to let everybody know is that there will always be sacrifices that we should each want to make so that we can all be greater together. So I'm thankful that we've had the guys here. We got Brandon and Benny Shine. Brandon Shine and Benny Shine are they're in the tabernacle. Okay. We sent the 2 guests that showed up. We actually have them in tabernacles join the podcast under an actual tabernacle. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the trees and the types of things that were used in the day over them, but they are under oak trees. They are under beautiful trees. There's a few rare ones. We have myrtle trees, which is also biblical, but they're out there in the tabernacle listening to shout out to the 2 guys in the tabernacle. We love you guys. It's great that they showed up. Basically, like, they don't ever want to leave. So, if only everybody had the same spirit for the Father. That's the type of thing that the Father looks for, is your heart, your desire. How much do you want to know? How much are you searching the scriptures? And are you repenting? Right? But this is an actual festival of happiness. It's a celebration. It's a birthday party. It's not about throwing ash on ripping our clothes. No, this is about a dedication to the breath of the living Father, the life of creation, tabernacling and dwelling in us, right? Something made from dust, a little bit from the sun, a little bit from the ocean, and then the breath of life was blown into us. And that's what we're celebrating right now, right? The birth of us, the created being made in the Father's image. So this isn't about, we should always be repentant, but this is about being thankful. This is a celebration that will be kept. And those that don't keep it are going to have no rain. Now, I don't know if this is going to be enacted exactly this year, but I can promise you that it's written, so it says, and it will be fulfilled exactly the way that it says. So everybody, next Feast of Tabernacles, we should definitely try to still get together. Those that want rain, it says in the scriptures, do get together and celebrate. But you can all celebrate from your own places. And if we have the cerveza thing going on, obviously people can't get together, which is probably enraging Yahawashi, making him very mad. But so that's my rant. I'm going to throw it back to you. I just want everybody to know that this is a celebration. This isn't something to be sad about. This is going to be the kickoff, right? It very well looks like the scriptures imply that a start and a finish, right, to the tribulation should start during this festival, right? Because it makes sense.
I just want to jump in right here, say what happens at Tabernacles that's significant in Scripture that might be end timesy.
Are you talking about the Transfiguration?
I am, because who showed up at the Transfiguration?
Moses and Elijah and Yahawashi.
All right, so you had Moses.
No, I said it wrong. Yahawashi is the true correct pronunciation. I had to correct myself there. Forgive me. Like I said, this is going to be a process that we're all going to have to go through. Take it over.
Yeah, so with the Transfiguration, we have two characters, Moses and Elijah, which are who we expect as the two witnesses. So we're going to take a look at tonight in the scriptures when the Transfiguration took place, because if there's any sort of pattern to be taken from it, then we might expect the two witnesses to show up at the end of Tabernacles, which is the day after tomorrow, the 8th day. So we've got a day after tomorrow theme going tonight that has got a couple things going. I sure hope there is fulfillment this year, everybody, because if we go past Tabernacles here, then we're going to be looking for fulfillment of the Great Tribulation beginning in the spring again. And I don't know that we have till the spring again for a lot of us because of what's taking place in the world. So all of my prayers, all of my thoughts, all of my manifestation powers are being focused towards the 8th day of Tabernacles. So I'm pushing as hard as I can possibly for this tonight. And for those of you that would like to see the Great Tribulation to begin, just so that we can get it over with, not that we want to go through the Great Tribulation, but get it begun so it can be gotten over with, I'm going to ask for your manifesting power tonight as well. Is there any other topics that we want to go through tonight?
No, we should get into it. I think you should take the screen share. We should just motor on into this information and let's get it out there. It's quite fun, actually. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you, everybody on the other side of the screen, for tuning in. And I'm speaking to you from the future if you're watching this after the podcast. What's up, future? We're always in the time of now. That's how I'm able to be in the future. And I'm in the time of now as well. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Are you taking it away? Should I keep talking?
Yeah.
Am I
No,
off camera now?
I've still got us up, but...
Oh. Mic setting sensitive because I had it so loud. But we're going to change this now.
All right, so window capture. I need this, not that. I need this. All right. So let me get myself out of the way, and we'll get into this real quick.
I could use a screen share too, please. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me know if my sound is still correct, if I'm too loud, if I'm too low. Jason's just getting set up. I don't see the screen share yet, but I'm sure there it is. So yeah, thanks everybody for showing up tonight. This is also, what we really love to do. We miss you guys, so we're happy to be here. I think you're good to go.
All right, so I just want to point out to everybody that tomorrow is an anniversary date for the Statue of Liberty. So it wasn't built on October 28th, but it was dedicated on October 28th, 1886. So Lady Liberty is celebrating its 125th tomorrow. And it's interesting because Lady Liberty shows up in so much of the predictive programming that we're going to be going through tonight. And all right, so they're saying that tomorrow, main ceremony, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Liberty Island. It's let's see, the fireworks will begin at 7:45 p.m. last 12 minutes. There's another interesting thing I saw. It says the Statue of Liberty's first webcam, affectionately known as the Torch Cam, will go live during the celebration. You can learn more about it here. So the Statue of Liberty has never had a webcam before, but it's going to have one starting tomorrow called the Torch Cam. And this is the anniversary. Now, we've covered this so many times that the Statue of Liberty is a representation of Apollo. So there could be a whole bunch of symbolic fulfillment.
Well, aka Apollyon.
Right. Which is referenced in scriptures, in Revelation. Right?
That's correct. Yes.
All right. So just want to throw that out there as we start talking about La Palma. So I've seen a whole bunch of La Palma stuff ever since the volcano started going off, which was, I think, September 19th. So I started watching it from the beginning, and it's I've paid attention to it the whole time, and I've heard about a massive landslide that could create a tsunami. But the whole thing sounded bogus to me, because you see this volcano going off, and you see where the volcano is, and you just do not expect that land to slip and fall off into the ocean. But they'll show you a whole bunch of graphics of something like that happening. So one of the things that's really popping off right now is the connection between, you guessed it, The Simpsons and La Palma. So the predictive programming is in it. It's in the thumbnail. Let's just take a peek at what The Simpsons had to say about this. I think it's in this one here. All right, so I just want to stop here. And so we have a canary looking at the Canary Islands on a globe. All right, so PSYOP, it's not a globe. But what is happening here is there is a chunk missing from the island where if you just look at a typical map of it, that chunk's not missing. So they've got the arrows pointing into it. They're pointing it out. Ooh, Simpsons, another predictive programming thing. So they really do have this footage from La Palma with this news anchor type person, and you can see the types of things like they did with Trump coming down the escalator.
There's lots of predictive programming. They love to use that show. Everybody knows that.
They love it. All right, so here's an actual map, and here's La Palma over here, and you can see that the island itself doesn't have the cutout on maps, or if you look at it on Google Earth or something like that, it doesn't have that chunk missing, but it does in the animation for The Simpsons. to the Canary Islands. All right, so they really made it obvious. They were trying to code up the Canary Islands. They were trying to code up La Paloma. They have a chunk missing out of it. And let's see. You saw a bunch of it in the thumbnail already. I'll just show you some other parts here that you didn't. Here's the chunk that's missing. All right, so obviously they could have just had the green come around here, but they obviously took a chunk out, and this is right where the volcano is. So something to pay attention to. And then this type of stuff is interesting. So if you actually go out and start doing the research, we'll go through a few links tonight. But here's the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa. They're considered Spanish islands. They're off the coast of Morocco here. And they are saying here over 300-foot high waves if there were to take place. And then they have the rings 3 hours later would be out here, 6 hours here, and they're saying 8 hours for the coast of the USA. This graphic predicts waves of 130 to 160 feet high, moving at a speed of 650 miles per hour and traveling up to 12.5 miles inland. Now, we don't get these types of, stats for South America or for the Caribbean islands, Puerto Rico, things like that. It does give UK, they're saying, a little bit lower. And expect it to bounce off of, what is that, Wales out there. So we'll see more graphics like this. But this is what they're talking about with La Paloma.
Again,
did you have something to say?
yeah, what we're letting people know, if you just tuned in, if you don't know exactly what we're talking about, the predictive programming is saying that somehow this La Palma Island is going to crumble apart and it's going to slide down a cliff. And it's going to create a cascading tsunami that's going to wipe out all these coastlines that are around it. That's what we're suggesting here. Just want to make sure that everybody's up to speed.
Yeah, so we can jump off of Simpsons for a second here and take a look at this another way. So let me make sure I want this to show up. Let me drag this down a little bit. Alright, so now you should be able to see the top where I'm doing a search here. I'm going to take this out and I'm just going to do mega tsunami scenario. And then you'll see that YouTube is autofilling La Palma landslide. So we'll go ahead and take their autofill and see what they have. And so this isn't new. You're going to see that this is not new whatsoever. This first video from Naked Science with 3.2 million views was from 4 years ago. You're going to see that basically all of the predictive programming around mega tsunamis has been built around a La Palma landslide. So there's this video now. Guys like Mr. BB 1 month ago is talking about a mega tsunami scenario from La Palma. Then there's a La Palma tsunami documentary. National Geographic did a documentary on it 3 weeks ago. So these ones right here, 1 month ago, this has all been since it's actually been erupting. Right, 1 month ago, but here the future tsunami that could destroy the U.S. East Coast was from 3 years ago. You've got Israeli News Live. Is Russia behind the seismic swarm under Canary Islands? So he's blame it on Russia. Blame it on Russia. We've got a week ago. We've got almost 5,000 people watching the live feed from the Canary Islands right now. So just give you an idea what this thing's all about. Play. 5,000 people. Come on. So this is the footage that we get of La Palma. This rim has really grown quite a bit since it's been going off, and it's got this river of lava coming down. It's flowing into the ocean right now. But this is a little ways from the ocean. I don't necessarily see how it can just break off and fall in. Now, if you take a look here, we've got the BBC. There's England for you. Fearing the future mega tsunami, BBC. A chance to see the potential effect of a landslide in Europe could have on the east coast of America. So this is going to be about Lipoma and how this could create a mega tsunami on the east coast. We've got visualizations. Look at this. We have Lipoma mega tsunami move. They've got a animation that they created 9 years ago of a Lipoma mega tsunami. So what these look like are like this. So this right here, it starts out like we're on a globe. And this is how the video starts out. Lipoma, and then they're going to show this line coming around here to New York, where the Statue of Liberty is. They're going to say, we're on a globe. But watch what happens as soon as they're done with this graphic. All right. Looks curved there. Now we're going to start watching some animations. Oh, and guess what? You see these edges right here? You see these edges? This is a flat plane.
Sorry. Well, yeah, they have it truncated though.
Yeah, it's a flat plane. You'll see them rotate this around. The entire animation's built off of a flat plane because it does plus and minus sea level. Plus and minus. Watch. So this shows the inundation expected. It's going to show you the source. Here at La Palma. It says someday again, like it did 500,000 years ago, the island will erupt. So that white avalanche that they had coming off here is the animation that they are using for the landslide. Let me show it to you again. Go back here a little further. See that white thing coming off? Look at the actual island and see where the volcano is, where the edge of the island is. You're going to see that this right here, no, that's just sliding off like that. It's make-believe. These animations are not accurate. You can tell just by looking at the island. All right, so that is what they are saying. Certain amount of 500 cubic kilometers of rock will tumble into the sea.
That's a lot. Look out. Of course, they've got it all simulated out.
Simulated
Shall we
out.
manifest, right?
This was in 2011 that they put this out.
Yeah, it's old.
All right, displaces the ocean and stirs. So here's the computer animation of the waveform. Now this is on a flat plane. You can see here this back edge. This is a flat plane. Watch this. All these calculations done to a flat plane. You can clearly see it. All right, so that says as it spreads out that it's dropping to 10 to 15 meters. Here's your plus and minus meters. But they say as it gets to the shallow waters, it'll rebuild. And so they have the animations based off of the coastal topographies of how much inundation that they expect. So the question was asked, what would a 20-meter tsunami do to New York? And surprisingly, you're going to see in this animation that a 20-meter isn't going to be super significant, like knocking down buildings like we see in the movies. All right, what you're going to see is that the New Jersey coast, that Long Island coast, these red areas are the areas that are going to be most affected. Staten Island gets hit. Here's coast of Jersey. They're showing all the modeling for the waves coming in and out along New Jersey. But you'll see in the New York Bay that based on their modeling here, one, they're doing, what is it, like a 20-meter wave, they're saying. So roughly 60 feet, something like that. So JFK will be flooded 10 meters deep, out of commission. But you'll see that like Manhattan's really not in the bullseye of this because it's back here. So because it's got to go between Staten Island and Long Island here, a lot of it gets blocked out. This is just some model that they did back in 2011. Interesting that all the models seem to be done for La Palma though. La Palma, La Palma, La Palma. So just to show you Mega Tsunami, La Palma eruption could make Mega Tsunami. So there's a lot of talk about this recently. What is this? Rob Skiba just shows up while we're talking about mega tsunamis. Let's see, they're saying 80 feet high. They are saying there's 8 hours ago. Everybody's talking about the mega tsunami right now. So we felt like it would be important to let people know that not only have they been planning for a mega tsunami, not only have they predictively programmed for it in things like The Simpsons, but all across the board right now, that seems to be the hottest thing going that I see. Mega tsunami, mega tsunami. All this kind of stuff. So the Simpsons have got it. The documentaries have been made. Look at this one here. What if a mega tsunami hit the United States? 5.7 million views 2 years ago. This is long, long, long before it's started erupting right now. Some geologists theorize that a volcano on La Palma might fall into the ocean and send a mega tsunami across the Atlantic. They're using the same footage from the movies that we did in the thumbnail. Same stuff. You see these maps? What do you think, brother? Could a landslide into the ocean off the coast of Africa, could that send a 200, 300 foot wave coming across the Atlantic to the United States?
I got to be honest. At first, I didn't quite see it. But when I did the math of the weight of the rock, and I thought about how they do the wave park here. There's a man-made surf park here. They create the wave. It does actually make sense that if they did blow up the island in a certain way, it absolutely could create these types of tsunamis, which would do, monumental destruction. So it is plausible, and I know everything will work for Yahawaha's glory. So whether it happens or not, we're still going to be, on the right path. But I do see it as a very strong possibility.
Let's just take a peek at this video. I haven't looked at all these. This is from 4 years ago. Mega tsunami fears grow as La Palma. See what they got here.
October 18th, 2017. Okay, guys, you're looking at the Canary Islands, a beautiful area in the world just off the coast of Africa. Well, what's going on there right now is that there's fears of a new monster tsunami because the Spanish volcano there, Spain owns the territory, can blow any minute. Now that's something scientists have feared.
All right, so I scanned ahead. All right, he's talking about Florida here. Let's see what he's got regarding Florida.
100 feet high, so that's really incredible.
I'm gonna go back a little.
We're up to 300 feet high, so that's really incredible. And you could see what would happen to Florida at the different wave heights. So basically, when you're at 150 feet or more, the entire coast and the entire inland of Florida is totally covered. And you can see on this, a 300-foot tsunami would basically go miles inland, all the way to Columbia, South Carolina, past Raleigh, North Carolina, the whole Virginia coastline, as well as going up into New York, Connecticut.
All right, I want to see if I can make this a little bit bigger image here. He's got how far that doesn't work. How far a 300-foot tsunami would go. You can see the rough outline here. So one of the things that we're doing is we are warning people. All right, all the predictive programming is in place. Lady Liberty or Apollo out there in New York City, it's got an anniversary tomorrow. We're going to be at the 7th day of Tabernacles, with the 8th day coming, and the Day of the Dead right behind it. So there's so many things as far as satanic agendas are concerned. So the flood killed the fallen, and the fallen are super bitter about that, and they're still around. And so a tsunami and killing people through a tsunami would be very fallen angel-like. Kill people with a flood. Now, the creator of this world said that he was never going to flood the whole world again, that the next destruction was going to be by fire, but that doesn't necessarily going to stop the Satans, the wicked people, from pulling off something evil, something truly, truly evil. So a 300-foot tsunami, you need to think about what your sea level is where you live on the East Coast. Would 300 feet affect you? And if so, I think it would be wise over the course of the next few days here to know what it would take if an alert went off that something had happened. What would it take for you to get to at least 300 feet above sea level? So we're just doing everything we can to protect as many people as we can if this is the type of false flag event that the demonic system might run. I don't know how much more we need to go through. I think the point is pretty well made that they've predictively programmed for this for a while now, right?
Well, yeah, I just want to say, I want to reiterate your great words there. Take a look at your topography charts, find out at what level you are above sea level, and then just be prepared. So what we've been super lucky with, not lucky with, but we've been prepared we were ahead of the times with, toilet paper and other types of things. The people that were following along with us weren't short on anything. So I think it's great that you've put out this warning. You let people know that this does look like something they've been predictively programming for. And I'm just glad that we're able to go through this tonight. If anybody's on the East Coast, just be ready, in the drop of a dime, just make sure you be ready to get out and beat the traffic, right? The first news you hear of La Palma erupting and falling into the ocean, just get in your vehicle and drive somewhere where you're above 200 feet above sea level. That's it. And you should be good, right? At least that.
Yeah, 200 to 300.
Okay.
Do you want to take a screen share?
Yeah, if you want, I can do some of that. We don't have to be super late, but let me get ready to show this.
Okay.
It shouldn't be too hard. It's just a couple things that I wanted to go over tonight. And that's about it. But let me see here. I shouldn't be showing this. Just let me know when I am live.
You are live.
So let's start off with the name that the Father told us to use, right? So what we can see here is these are letters that were changed from a pictographic language, which means that each letter was a picture, right? And then on through time, things change and they change them. So we had set out to figure out what the true name of the Creator and the Christ, the name that was given under heaven for salvation. We wanted to know what those were. Their titles, and these are their names, okay? So It was Benny Hushine is the one who had pointed this out. He had pointed it out a while ago too, but it wasn't the time, obviously, to get into it. So we did get into it. And what I want everyone to do at home right now, okay, let's go through this. So now you see. So when I show you guys this YHWH name, right? YHWH. We've been talking about it for a long time. When you look, you do the research, the name of Yahweh of Israel, the Elohim of Elohims, it occurs 6,800 times in just the 66 book canon that they let us have, right? Every time you see, most of the times you see the capitalized version of the word Lord, anytime you see the word God, and most of the times where you see Elohim, but not all the time, it's YHWH. They left it that way. But it says here, after the Babylonian exile in the 6th century BCE, and especially from the 3rd century BCE on, the Akkadians ceased to use the name Yahweh for 2 reasons. One, we're not going to get into those reasons because it's absolutely ridiculous that anyone would not use the Father's name. So now that we've established these things, the name Yahweh shows up in the scriptures over 6,800 times. Just the words YHWH were left. Okay, so let's get into this. Here we have the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Okay, these are the old ways. I hopefully I'm presented and I'm clear. This is the way the alphabet was. Okay, it's really simple. It's not complicated. The only difference is wherever you see an A on the screen, they were not written. It was just always said, right? Unless if it was an AH, you would write the H after the A. That's how you were able to do the language. So it's easy. It's A, Ba, Ga, Da. Let's go through this. Ha, Wa, Za, Cha, Ta, Yaka, La, Manasa. I, Pa, Taza, Ka, Ra, Sha, Tha. That's the alphabet that Adam spoke. And all the way down to the Tower of Babel, it was the language that all the humans spoke, including this is the language of the angels. This is ancient Paleo Hebrew. These are the pictographic symbols. The Ah was the bowl, right? You can see it. There's a bunch of different symbols here. That'll be for a more advanced class, right? But what I want to get into is how we say the Father's name first. Okay, this is key. So we're going to do a little game here, okay? I'm going to zoom in. I want everybody to see it. Or should I go to this tab? Let me see. Is this one better? Well, here we have it spelled out so it's not backwards because the other one's backwards. So here we can see Abagada, Hawaza, Chata, Yaka, Lamanasa, Ipa Taza, Ka Ra Sha Tha. It's pretty easy. So we know the Father's name was YHWH. And we can locate these characters, right? It's this one. So Jason, are you there?
I am here.
I don't want you to say anything that I'm not hovering on. This is key here, okay? I'm going to put my pointer over the characters, and I want you to read them, okay?
All right.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Do you have your super cursor on? I can barely see it.
I don't. If you could unpresent me for a second, I'll add it. I can do it. It's fine if people see, right? I don't have anything to hide. I try to live as righteous as possible, ladies and gentlemen, and I would hope that you would too on the other side of the screen. And if we make mistakes, just ask to be forgiven. Okay, so now we can see. So now we're hovering over this character, right? Yep. So we have YHWH. Let's do this together. But don't read the ones I don't cover, okay? So we got...
Ya. Ha. Wa.
Stop there. Let's do that again. Ready?
Ya. Ha. Wa. Ha.
Oh. Did everybody catch that at home? Let's do it one more time. I'm not going to put in the last one. The way we used to say the Father's name, ladies and gentlemen, was like this.
Like this. We used to say Ya. Ha. Wa.
Yahweh. That's what we thought the Father's name was.
Without pronouncing the last syllable.
Benjamin brought it up, and syllables are very important. Rhythm, the way we speak, the amount of characters that make the words matter. So again, we do this again. Jason, let's do it again.
Ya. Ha. Wa. Ha.
Boom. Everybody, that is the name that the Heavenly Father hath given us. And he gave it through Moses, Because at first he said his name was this. Let's do it again, Jason.
Ha. Wa. Ha.
There's the Father's first name. And that word means exists.
Exists.
Moses said
Hawa means exists.
Hawaha.
Yeah.
Hawaha. It's 3 characters.
Yep.
HWH. And it's a palindrome. Then Moses had added the Yah. So now that we've established that, let's do the Christ's name. Okay. So we're going to start this again. We might have to go back to this one because I can't get all the characters on the screen at the same time. So we're going to do the same thing again, Jason. I'm going to hover over top of the characters. Let me zoom in so you can see them. Everybody at home can see them. This is the ancient Paleo Hebrew language with the pictographic character drawn. So if you can go and find the scrolls or the things that were, hammered or stamped into the way that they used to make things, you're going to see these characters. And once you get to know them, you'd actually be able to read the scriptures without having anyone transliterate it at all. This is going back to the language that Adam spoke, right? And the angels. So let's do this. Let's do the Christ's name. Okay. We know the characters. Let's do this. Ready?
Yep. Ya. Ha. Wa. Ha. Sha. I.
You got it. Let's do that again. One more time, again, slow. I'll do it with you. Ready?
Ya.
Ha. Wa. Ha. Sha. I. Ya. Hawa. Ha. Sha. I. That is the name. And what I want people to understand is this isn't just like saying Ronnie, right? We're saying Ronnie James Harris. This is a full name, right? Title. He, right? He
Exists.
We just talked about he that exists, Hawaha, and then salvation. Right? Sha'ai means deliverance or deliverer, because it was Yahawashi that delivered the people into the promised land. It wasn't Moses. Moses didn't do that, right? It was Yahweh hath said to Moses, bring me it was at that time Hawashai, and Moses then gave him the name Yahweh Shai, right? Moses added the Yah to it as well. It was in the prophecies that he would come in the Father's name. So we have to be super clear. This is the one name under heaven that we shall be saved by. We must be saved by. We need to look at this with the utmost importance. It is the only name or title. Let's see. If you want to sign into my computer, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side of the screen, you need my password, right? If you try to transliterate it and you leave out a character, you're not getting into my computer. It's not going to happen. I don't care how many times you try. If you don't have the correct characters, you can't get in. So we've done the research, we've done the studies, and we've come back and we now understand that this character that was these letters YHWH that show up 6,800 times in just the 66 books. If we were to take all 366 books, you're going to see this number just skyrocket, which is another reason why anyone who does gematria is an absolute joke to me. You're a joke. Unless you have all 366 books, starting with the Cave of Treasures and ending with the Book of Revelation, don't even come near me with your gematria numbers, because it's nothing. It's garbage. But let's do this again. It says right here, the name in the scriptures, because ancient Paleo Hebrew was unambiguous. Right? It was simple. They didn't have characters that you couldn't read. They didn't have silent letters. The only letters that they didn't even have to write was the A, because it was always that. And sometimes when you read a word like Yahawashi, you have the I. There's no or anything after the I. Yahawashi. That's the correct name, right? And we've now found out that it could have been intentional by the Line of the Tribe of Judah channel to put out mis or disinformation so that we wouldn't actually have the true name. There's a likely chance. Or the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, just didn't give them the full understanding, right? But now it's just a minor correction. So let's look at the name. I had this written down. We have the name here, the one we used to use. right? YHWSI. Right? If we take the Oz out, that's what we're left with. But what we actually need is the Ha Sha I. So when we spell it correctly, these are the letters. I don't know if people can see. I know a lot of you guys use cell phones and stuff, but this is as close as drilling in as I can get. So I really want to make this clear. All right, let's put spaces in between these. Ya, ha, wa, ha, sha, I. Right? That is the way I'm writing this so you can speak it. Ya, ha, wa, ha, sha, I. That's the name. Now, in Paleo Hebrew, because it was so unambiguous, and you can find the research, Jason actually has that documented on his channel. That'll stand correct. You can take out the A's. But look what we were missing. We were missing the H, right? We didn't have the H. So we were incorrect. And we stand here again as men who will take correction, and we will always stand up when we find things. So now we get the tetragrammaton, the YHWH, right? That's the father's name. Means he. Y means he. Hawaha means exists, which is the limitless one, because it's a palindrome, HWH. Read it infinitely, either direction, whether you're writing it from this side of the temple or you're writing it from this side of the temple. It was always Hawaha, not Hawa, because then there would be no H there. The name would be Yahweh. That's what this name is, YHW. That's not the correct name. Now we know. Let's put it together. So Yah-ha-wa-ha-sha-I. That's how it's this is how it would be written right here. You don't have to add the A's. If there was no I there, it would be Yah-ha-wa-ha-sha-ha. Right? Because we don't have an I here.
It'd be a Shah.
Shah.
Yahawashi.
Yes, Yahawashi. But we have an I here, so we know it's Yahawashi. That's the correct way to say the name. Let's put the A's back, because I know it definitely helps me, because that's the way, if you spell out a word the way that it sounds and we get rid of the ridiculous English language, I would be so happy, because this is easy to understand. We can separate it. Ya, ha, wa, ha, sha, I. It's simple, guys. It's so simple. I think an advanced 3-year-old would be able to understand this. And I know that even I could get a 1 to 2-year-old to say this name. So everybody that's witnessing this tonight, I just hope that the breath of the Heavenly Father comes to you, Yahweh, and he shows you this truth. We are all going to come back to the truth. It was prophesied. It was told that the breath of the living Father, Yahweh, would come back to us. Yahweh Shai told us. He said, I promise you, I will send you all the knowledge that you need. It will be given. So I don't know how much more we want to get into that. I do want to go into something here with Daniel Vallis. I don't know. Should I put the screen size like this?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's presented. Okay,
yeah.
So what I want to point out is, after we did the Venus video, where Venus all of a sudden did some supernatural move, Daniel Vallis, and we did call him out for a lot of his disinformation, and we still are. He's still pandering for money, and we don't even know what he does with the money, and it's not our business. That's for Yahweh to decide. But what he brought forth was an interesting case. Okay, he brought forth a case where he was proposing that the true morning and evening star, he's saying, is Sirius. Okay, which we balked at in the beginning. Although initially when he said Sirius, I was like, I said, if they're going after my ego, they've got a good case here, because it actually rises on my birthday. Okay, and I've always known that I was born with that star because I did the research, not because I think it has anything. Yahweh is controlled of everything. Yahweh has control over everything, not me. I'm just Ronnie Harris. That's it. Okay, so here we find out that out of all the fixed stars, so we've got the wandering stars, right? Those ones move back and forth along the ecliptic, and they do retrograde movements too, right? Then we have what are called the fixed stars. They make up your constellations. And within these constellations, you have different stars with different brightnesses and magnitudes. And what Daniel has pointed out is that Sirius actually rules the night sky for the fixed stars. It spends a longer duration. So what this chart is showing you is the amount of nighttime viewing sky that this star has. So Jupiter, which is the king star, the king luminary of the wandering luminaries, his top amount of night visible seen is 9 hours and 50 minutes, where the fixed star Sirius actually tops out at 10:10, which is quite interesting that he's brought this case forward. So what I'm suggesting is that he might be seeing something when he looks to the cross of the two stars, which I'm likening this onto something parabolically, maybe to, let's say, the two witnesses would be the first thing that catches my attention. Would be, you would want your witnesses. So if we go back to the book of Enoch, Enoch clearly states that the luminaries have multiple jobs, right? They don't just look beautiful, right? The handiwork of the heavenly sky is always doing different things. So these are observers, right? They're witnesses. They are literally witnesses that go above our heads. Now, I'm not stating that Jupiter and Sirius are the two witnesses, the two olive trees. They're not the two lampstands. They're two luminaries, right? They are heavenly representations of what could be the two witnesses here on earth, because they have the longest viewing time, the most observing time. So this one, Sirius, has the most observing time in the night sky of all the fixed stars. They don't move, they just circle around. Depending on where you are, they circle in a certain direction. Everything travels from the east to the west. It's very simple. So I'm hoping I'm making the case clear that there is something happening in the sky. These two stars are luminaries, are showing us interesting things that I think we need to watch for. Jason, did you want to comment?
I would just like to point out, when do you see them crossing together?
Is it November 1st or what?
No, it's before. It's before then.
Okay.
It's actually the 28th, 29th.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's correct.
So either the 7th day or 8th day of Tabernacles,
which is interesting, right?
I find it interesting.
Yeah, there was that. I just wanted to, give everybody a little bit of an interesting update. And it also gave me a great way to point out that we have fixed stars and we have wandering stars, or luminaries. We can call them luminaries because what they really are lights. They're lights in the sky that do supernatural things if you're watching. I really don't recommend everything that Daniel teaches, because then he goes into this whole nonsense where he tries to tie this, what is this called again? Heliophaint created psyop, but he tries to say that either Scorpio or Scorpius, which again really enrages me. Things need to be simplified, not complicated, right? This constellation only is seen in the sky with the sun setting, right? If you were to run this back again, this would be under the sky, under the horizon if the sun was rising. He tries to take this picture, which is actually pointing to right now, right? This, when the sun sets right now, the Scorpio or Scorpius sign is in the sky like this, heading down, and it's followed by the arrow. It's exactly like this. Jason had that up earlier. We went over it. He's trying to state that this is a rising sun. Then he calls this Sirius, the sun, right? It's absolutely nonsense. But what I can tell you definitely is that parabolic mysteries to the kingdom of heaven are being given out to people that are seeking and looking through the scriptures like a lion. Just as the enemy roams to and fro against us, so too to the true followers of Yahweh. They ransack the scriptures. We go through it with a fine-tooth comb. We want to find out everything, and the information of the sun and the moon and everything being given to us, it's just being absolutely dropped down into our laps. The breath of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is so coming through right now, you guys. We can't even begin to tell you. So the two things I wanted to point out was this crossing path of the two witnesses are the longest of the luminaries. Of the luminaries, these are our two greatest witnesses in the sky. Daniel's pointed it out. He didn't take it there. He misrepresents a bunch of things, and he slanders Venus. He basically takes all this time to mock Venus, which is another heavenly luminary. I'm not saying worship the stars in the sky. I'm just saying you don't mock them. But he goes on to show a bunch of pagan nonsense and lead his viewers off into, what very well could be destruction. So, I just wanted to point out those couple things. I think it's very important that we're watching. I do believe that the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star is a reference to Yahawashi, right? And we can debate as to what luminary it is, but if you look at the sky here, this is the way that we're seeing the picture that's being drawn out, right? We have this scene in the sky. I don't know, Jason, if
that is a setting sun scene for sure.
This isn't a rising scene; it's a setting sun scene, right?
Yep.
So if you want, I could give you back the screen share. I didn't, we don't have to do a really long hangout. It's up to you. I just wanted to make sure that people really got the chance to look at the language, the alphabet, and then, should we do it one more time? It's Yahawa is the way we used to say his name, the Father, but it's Yahawa is the true pronunciation, and then the I. That's the Savior's name, the name that was given for salvation. And I hope that this lifts you guys up. I know it's going to be a bit of I'm going to unscreen share, Jason, whenever you're ready. This is going to be a tough process because every time I get passionate and I go into my passionate mode, I was so ingrained in the old names that I sometimes still make mistakes. So please forgive me if I say the wrong name for the Creator and the Christ. Just know in my heart that what I want to do is I want to be as close to the truth as I can. I want to be as close to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, as I can. And in doing that, I want to show him my ability to correct my ways and admit that I was wrong, right? I missed the ha. And it's funny, my name actually has the ha in it, right? So of all the characters for me to miss, my last name is Harris, right? Harris. And I have the ha in my name. Yet I wanted to take it away from the Creator and the Christ. So forgive me, everybody. I misled you. I misled everybody that I was going around making hashtags. And I submit my repentance, and I will change my ways before the Heavenly Father, all the heavenly hosts, and all of the earthly realm. The name is Yahawashi, right? And Yahawashi is the name that was given for salvation.
Absolutely. So I'm going to switch screens here. And I think what we might do is play out. So this morning we had a conversation with Benjamin and with Brandon regarding La Palma, regarding a number of things regarding the Illuminati and New World Order, the Freemasons, Jesuits, all that kind of stuff. And we went through a whole bunch of stuff. And then as we were getting ready for tonight, I remembered, well, we really did cover this. So when this was covered is when I put out a video that premiered December 31st, 2018, titled The Cult of Pythagoras, Mystery Babylon Revealed documentary. And I do have this up on Odyssey. So once we start playing it, I'll throw it in the chat. So if you want to watch the whole video, because what this video does is it really points out that it is the Vatican that is Mystery Babylon. So that mystery has been revealed. And this video did do that. And now there's a number of other mysteries that we've been bringing to a conclusion. We've always been open to correction on the true names of the Creator and the Christ. It's in the videos that we've had out on the topic. And so that correction has come along, and we're taking it and we're going with it. And we follow the truth wherever it goes. Like, we don't want to be left behind on the truth on any topic. So we can probably finish the hangout on this. Is there anything else that you wanted to go through?
Well, I just wanted to say that you heard this only on the Yahawashi News Network.
Everyone knew that the earth was not spinning up until the time of Pythagoras. His occult mystery school was the first to even suggest the possibility. Pythagoras knew that he had to first propose Earth's movement to suggest that it's a sphere. Well, guess what? The Pythagoreans have survived up until this day. They worship Babylon the Great. They can be identified when they promote vegetarianism, veganism, homosexuality, transgenderism, cross-dressing, necromancy, divination, magic, alchemy, the heliocentric model, the AE map, a model of a flat earth, and a host of other distinctive traits. It was the Vatican that super revived Mystery Babylon when it promoted and protected occultists like Sir Isaac Newton, Sir Francis Bacon, and a host of other sirs. From a core group of satanic occultists sprang a myriad of secret societies and organizations. These organizations that operate in the public in secret have been exposed to a large extent already, but it is now that these secret societies and public organizations have all been commonly linked. They are all Mystery School Pythagoreans, which originates with Mystery School Babylon. Keep in mind when you look at the placement of the Illuminati in these diagrams that the Illuminati is relatively new. It was founded on May 1st, 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. What organized people like Weishaupt were are satanic occultist Pythagoreans. During the 1600s, many of the secret societies were created and spread by the power of the Vatican. And it is now that Apollo is being thrown down.
Jesus answered and said unto them, Go, and show John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them.
Dann auch nicht immer so klar. Und da sind sie dann, die Kenianer. Der nächste hier, Michael Kunyuga, hat sich nochmal nach vorne gearbeitet und ist völlig entkräftet, schafft es gar nicht mehr über die Ziellinie, der muss noch ein paar Meter und von hinten kommt der Nächste, da muss er jetzt rüber und der krabbelt übers Ziel, das ist ja Drama pur. Aber er hat es gerade noch so geschafft, Michael Kunyuga.
Met de vierdubbele schaak. Leonardo. Leonardo. Jawel!
You've lost. You just don't know it. I've lost. Look at the board. I have. Move. Check. Good game.